everyone, welcome to DADISOS. I'm Sophie.
I'm Xiao Cai.
So for Malaysian market, actually we have like a lot of students actually have a thought like studying in the UK.
Yes.
So Xiao Cai, like when talking about studying in the UK, which city actually pop in your mind?
First comes out in my mind would be London, Cambridge, Manchester.
Yeah,
Yes.
it's actually like a big city.
Yes.
So what from my opinion, I would say like maybe sometimes there are some strong university not always getting like the spotlight they deserve.
I
So
see.
today we're actually joined by an international recruitment officer from Swansea University. So the university is actually like strong. It's actually with a strong industry partnership, and also it's actually having a growing reputations among the international students.
Oh, I'm excited to know more about this Swansea
Yeah,
University.
so let's welcome Katie.
Hi, Katie.
Hi, thank you for having me. My name's Katie Mead and I'm International Recruitment Officer in the East and Southeast Asia team at Swansea. So Swansea is, I guess, famous for being in a more relaxed city. We're right on the beach. As you mentioned, really good industry links and becoming a more popular choice with students.
Yeah.
Yeah, most people like Malaysian like me, they will think of London, Cambridge, Manchester, and other city. Do you mind to share what's the environments of or culture of study in Wales?
Yeah. So I understand that. So they are the more well-known
Popular.
cities.
Yeah.
But actually, I think studying in Wales is a bit more relaxed. It's more student-focused. Not quite a big city, so you don't get lost in a big city. You get to, that small community feeling on campus. It's much safer, much more much cheaper. So we're about 35% cheaper than if you were to study in London, for example.
Okay.
Because it's, just the cost of living in general is a lot lower. But it's very much student focused. So it's all about the lifestyle for students. But yeah, as I mentioned earlier, like Swansea is right on the beach, so you have that quite relaxed, beach environment. But then we have the city centre in the middle of our two campuses. So if you do want the city life as well, that it is available. So you kind of get the best of both worlds.
I see. So students can actually like enjoy the relax and also the more cities vibe.
Yeah, exactly. And we're actually 2 hours, 40 minutes by train to London.
Oh, okay.
So you could live in Swansea, you could get to Cardiff in an hour, you could get to London in 2 hours 40. It's easy to travel to the larger cities like Manchester, Birmingham. So you are still very well connected to those cities if you did want to visit. But I think I've experienced living in London and it's very busy, very expensive. And I can't imagine what student life would be like there. So I think I've always said I wish I wasn't from Swansea because it would have been lovely to study there. So yeah, it's a nice option.
It's not too late. You still can send your child to Swansea University.
Yeah, maybe. So I think as a parent as well, I would feel more confident sending my child somewhere where it's safer, there's that campus feel, it's not too expensive, and it's very much student focused.
So talking about like Swansea University, from your opinion, what will the most popular program among the international students?
Okay, cool. So engineering is big in Swansea. We are ranked in the top 150 for engineering, but some of the subjects within that are ranked a bit higher, and that's for the QS rankings. But it's very much about hands-on learning. So we have our newer campus is about 10 years old. It's a £350 million investment. You walk around campus and all you see is students learning in labs. They spend 3 out of 5 days a week in the labs, hands-on learning.
Wow.
And then we have really good connections to industry partners. So we have Airbus and Rolls-Royce on campus. So there's that research opportunity. There's the partnerships in terms of like placements and work experience. So I think that's great. Like that engineering is a great option. We offer all those disciplines. If you want to, secure employment afterwards, our business school is really strong. So accounting and finance, business, those sort of programs, we make sure that industry partnerships with industry are built into the program, so they get a lot of mock experience of real life projects, but also there's the option to do a year in industry as well. Healthcare is quite popular, but yeah, also computer science is really popular with us, and we've got programs that cover AI and cybersecurity as well. So I'd say those are probably the main ones.
Yeah, I can see that like most of the program is actually like the reason for the program be popular is actually because Swansea is actually offering more hands-ons for the programs.
Yeah, so Swansea was built, well, it started off in 1920, so over 100 years ago, to upskill the local community. And that's what we do today. So we have industry partners that come in. We've got employability teams that support students in their next steps. It's very much about hands-on learning, but also if you're not doing a course that requires hands-on learning, there's that opportunity to get experience in industry, and not just locally, nationally and internationally as well.
Besides of choosing the program, some of the students might curious about what are the requirements student must meet to further study in Swansea or UK. What's the minimum requirement?
Yeah, so we're very flexible as a university. We take everything into account from students. So it could be that they've, not quite got the grades, but they've got relevant work experience. So we take it on a case-by-case basis. But in general, we, on our foundation programs, so we have a joint venture with Navitas called the college. We run our international foundation programs there, and it's around kind of O-level, GCSE level. We accept onto there. Or if students are just struggling with things like the English language side of things. English language, we typically ask for an IELTS 5 to 5.5 for foundation. Then for undergraduate programs, it's typically A-levels or equivalent. So we ask for BBC in A-levels or above, but depending on the program that can differ. And then for undergraduates, the subjects you've studied is important. So for example, engineering, computer science will ask for maths in general. And then for postgraduate, we typically ask for an undergraduate degree 2.2 to 2.1 or above.
How if already working adults and I want to continue my master?
Yeah, so we get a lot of that. You've reached a certain level of academia, it doesn't quite meet the requirements that we've prescribed. If you have relevant work experience, then we will consider that as well. And that's definitely taken into account. So, for engineering, recently we had someone reach out to us that had, 10 years experience working in a local firm as an engineer, didn't quite get the undergraduate grades that we expect, but we got the academics to speak to him directly and we're able to offer him a place. So it is possible. Definitely, and we do consider that.
Did you face any conditions or situations that the students has totally no chance to studying in the UK?
Maybe their English level or their grades.
Yeah, it has to be quite extreme cases. So for whatever reason, the student can't get a visa, or there's credibility issues, or they're struggling with English language. Those would be the main reasons, because now there are so many options available to students. So there's always, I think, apart from those, there's always some sort of pathway that they could go through, whether that be a foundation, work on their English language. There's always options.
Yeah, don't lose hope. You always have chance. Then is there any support or assistance Swansea will provide to the international students in terms of English program, maybe?
Yes, so we have our own English language school. We offer pre-sessional courses, online and in person, throughout the year, twice in the autumn and summer. We offer those. And we've actually revamped the packages of those recently to make them a bit more competitive, because we realised that some of them were a bit long. So we now offer 4 different length programmes depending on what level of English. And we have our own English language test, which is called SWELT, Swansea.
Okay.
English language test. And that's free to offer holders.
Oh.
So you can take that test as an alternative to IELTS or equivalent.
Okay. So which means that students, once students has received the offer, they are actually have the chance to take the test.
Yes, yeah, exactly.
Okay.
We also help support students while they're studying as well. So it could be that they're struggling with something academically, and maybe because of the language difference, or maybe because of the difference in teaching from where they are to the UK, because it can differ. And we have support available to students, like academic support, and we run like cafes, like maths cafes. We had a student that was from the US, I think, and they had the graph paper was different in the US to the UK, and so a PhD student set up a maths cafe to help them with that challenge. So there's the support available to students once they're here with
Besides
us.
of that, some students might think they are very homesick. They miss their home,
Yeah.
or culture shock. how school will help them to adapt the environment or the culture?
Yeah, so we do have that, because sometimes it's the first time for a
Yes.
student to be in the UK or be away from home. So there's a few things available. So first of all, before international students join, they can meet with friends or potential friends online, so other students. So you could connect with students in like from whatever country you're from, or from your course. And there's ways to kind of meet people online before you
Join the school.
arrive at
Oh.
Swansea. But then while you're studying with us, we have it's called the Hub, and there's somewhere you could physically go and drop in and say, I'm struggling with this. You get assigned tutors that can help, mostly with academic, but they do tend to help with other issues as well. And there's a huge amount of support available. So we run a lot of welcome activities. And the first week we showcase some of our societies. So there's societies from different countries, different sports that you can join. That's a really good way to, I guess, avoid being homesick, because you could do an activity or meet people from where you're from and what you're used to doing.
So from your experience, like, what do you think the common misunderstands about studying in the UK before they arrive in the UK?
Yeah, that's a good question. I guess it's all about being prepared. So I can't really talk from a student's eyes, but you know, we've had students that arrived in London and didn't realise that Swansea was 2.5, 3 hours away. They thought it was close by to London. So I think it's more about just being prepared. So look up how you're going to get around. Look up what the weather's like, because you know it's not too extreme in the UK, but it's very seasonal. So you will get, you know, cold periods in winter and quite warm periods in summer. Just being prepared for that. Make sure you know the contacts of where you need to be, who you need to meet. Plan where you're going to be living. So yeah, I think it's all about being organised, and then it wouldn't come as so much of a shock.
I record just now you mentioned about like, let's say students are interested to be employed in the UK after their studies. So from now, I mean the current
Situation or market?
what kind of sector is actually welcoming the international students?
So I think I think I can touch on the popular ones, but I think in general it's worth thinking about where you can transfer those skills. So thinking about an industry where you could get some work experience in the UK, but it might be that you don't want to stay in the UK and you want to work internationally. So thinking about where you can transfer the skills that you've got from your programme at university. So some of the popular ones are engineering. So sustainable engineering is a big one at the minute. Computer science, AI, cybersecurity, finance. So, you could do a finance degree or related degree. You could get some work experience in the UK, but you could work in an international firm and travel around the world. So yeah, there's lots of different options. I think healthcare as well is a big one. It's very much transferable. So you're thinking about I think something I didn't do when I was at university, but think about what the goal is at the end of it. So you don't have to decide on your career straight away. Think about a degree that will give you the option to decide later on what you'd like to do and where you'd like to be.
Speaking of job opportunities, some people might think London, Cambridge, those big cities will provide more job opportunities. But how about in Wales?
Yeah, so actually I would say the market has changed. So I personally used to work in London and I then relocated to Swansea and did my London job from Swansea. So the world has changed. There's way more remote learning. So it could be that, on paper, there's more roles available in a larger city like London, but it's more flexible now. So, I'd say you're not restricted to just the area that you live in. I have a lot of friends in Swansea that work for companies from all over the world. But having said that, Swansea's very strong in terms of engineering, healthcare. There are many opportunities. So it's there. Also, we're really well connected to some of the larger cities like Cardiff and Bristol. And what we're noticing is where historically kind of larger institutions might be based in cities like London or Birmingham or Manchester, they're now trying to save costs and relocate into some of the smaller cities like Bristol and Cardiff. So there's definitely opportunity there.
So from some students, like studying overseas actually consider a big investment to them. So how do you think they can maximize the return as fast as they can? Like maybe taking the part-time?
Yeah, part-time works is definitely an option. And there's at Swansea, a lot of students do tend to do that. Obviously, they need to keep in mind what the restrictions are in their visa. And I would recommend that you plan so that you can just make the most of your studies. You don't want part-time work to take away from your study time. So just making sure you can balance that. I would suggest you use your time at university to and use the support available. So like employability support, for example, to get paid work that's going to give you the experience, for what you want to do next. So it could be like working as an ambassador at the university. We get a lot of international students that do that. So they help with open day, sometimes, content creating. There's lots of different things you can get involved in that's paid work that will improve your CV. But also use the support from employability to think about what you want to do next. So you kind of have to drive that yourself. So UK education is quite different. Students are treated like adults. You've got to drive it yourself. So the support is available to you, but you need to think about what you want to do and use the support available to you to do that.
How about scholarship provided by Swansea University? Is there any special scholarships for international students?
Yeah, so we offer, for certain regions, we offer a Thrive Scholarship, which is £4,000 off your first year of tuition fees. We also offer International Excellence Scholarships, which for undergraduates, and depending if you on what grades you get, it's a £5,000 discount from fees in the first year. And if you get 70% average in your first year, you get £2,000 off your second year. And for postgraduate, it's just the £5,000 because they're typically 1 year courses. It's very much worth applying for. You can't have both of them, but I would suggest if a student is expecting good grades to apply for the International Excellence. So there's the option to get that higher amount. There are also a lot of scholarships available in certain schools. So we have them in the business school and like for example, and like for law and media, there are specific ones you can apply for as well.
By giving an advice to the students who might be interested to study in the UK, like what kind of advice you can provide to them?
Yeah, so I think it goes back to what I said earlier. It's about being organised. I think as an international student coming to the UK, there are, and any overseas education, there's so many steps that need to be done.
Yeah.
So from getting your CAS to your visa, you don't want to delay those applications because, you know, you haven't thought about it in advance. So I think be organised and make sure you allow for that time and just do your research. You know, make sure you've chosen the right course, the right institution. Like think, you know, as you said, a lot of people think, oh, I must go to a big city, but it's not for everybody. They might want somewhere a bit more relaxed. They might want somewhere that, you know, just take all the factors into account when making that decision, and then make sure you're investing the time to get all your applications done. I know it can be quite onerous, but it's definitely worth it.
Okay.
Do you have any more information that you would like to share to our international students?
Yeah, I'd just say studying overseas is such a rewarding experience, and you really just want to make the most out of it. So choose wisely, think about what you want to do afterwards, and just make sure that that's giving you the pathway to what you want to do next.
Thanks, Katie, for joining us. If you like this episode, remember to like, share, and subscribe. And we'll see you next time. Bye.
Bye-bye.